Nice to see you. What did you just ask me?
I asked you, where'd you get the idea to do sunflowers? Let's talk about. We're just gonna go over the whole decor.
Yeah.
For anyone that's just tuning in now.
Yeah.
Let's start with the sunflowers.
Sunflowers. Okay, so I'm a big fan of Post Malone,
Okay.
and we've talked about that before.
Yep.
At my old house, I used to have a Post Malone museum set up in my basement with all the memorabilia I have.
Okay.
Right now, I don't have it set up. But his song Sunflowers is like the biggest hit in the world ever still.
Okay.
So I had a thing of sunflowers in the museum.
Hell yeah.
And then we converted to the beanbag chairs last recording, so
Yep.
I figured add a little life to the area.
Absolutely.
We got a nice little piece of artwork there from my good friend Josh Mackey. That is a painting of a beanbag chair. And he was listening to the last episode of us talking about him and then painted us a beanbag chair.
Hell yeah.
The tube on the wall is because this is the tube.
Because this is the tube.
It just is fitting. And then we got the fat man and a little coat skit we did early on in our careers.
Yep.
And then
That was the first Get to Know the Tube Crew video.
it was, yeah.
Which we're going to be coming out with a lot more Get to Know the Tube Crew videos. That's going to... Get to Know the Tube Crew is going to live on as long as the tube.
Yeah, and they're going to get more and more exciting. And then we have a panel from a race car up there that we blew up in another Get to Know the Tube Crew episode that will be airing soon. Our editor does have that, and she's working on that slowly. Same with the Fink Ranch one. So those will all be coming out at some point. And so, yeah, we'll keep collecting things as we go. That's the original tabletop back there.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's where the sunflowers came from. Thanks for tuning in and listening to us, everybody. We had really great viewership on our first video, and it's slowly declined from there. So hopefully we start to do better.
We can't get discouraged.
No, we won't.
And
We're gonna keep posting videos even if nobody watches it because it's out there.
Well, and look at the feedback we had after that first video.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, I don't know, a total of 8 people between you and me, or 10 people reached out and just shared, like, thank you for sharing that stuff. So it's like, that's what it's about. That's so worth it.
100%. We had Jordan on last week. It was really fun.
That was awesome.
Yeah, he had really great, some great stories, and like, for days after, I was just, kind of thinking through it, and I don't know, that stuff just like impacts you, and like you can just hearing somebody else's path and story and how they got to where they are is just so impactful, so really sat with me for a few days, and he had a lot of fun. We're gonna have some more guests on, but for this week we're gonna just kind of be BSing. We've got a few topics we want to touch on, so yeah, man, let's switch gears a little bit. The weather's getting better. That means that the salt and sand is starting to come off the roads, and we're getting the fun vehicles out. Whoever's into fun vehicles probably hasn't parked all winter.
Yes.
And so I'm working on getting mine cleaned up, getting mine ready for the season. There's a huge car culture locally here that I'm fairly involved with. You're starting to get involved with now too.
Yeah. So let's start with, well, because I'm looking at the sign right now. Let's start with Tired Made Motor Club.
Tired Made Motor Club.
What is this?
Tired Made Motor Club is a club that a buddy and I started, car club, and he was trying to get car meets together. And
who is this buddy?
His name is Joseph Richardson.
Okay.
He has a green Miata that he's put hundreds of thousands of hours into building and rebuilding and doing all kinds of cool stuff too. Very much just a gearhead. So he was trying to start doing car meetups on Sundays in his driveway. So first one, cars showed up. Second one, I showed up with some other cars, and it's like he and I started talking, and he's like, dude, I really want to make this more like legit. I want to start a car club in the area. So we came up with the Tired Made Motor Club. It was a little play off of my brand already, obviously.
Okay.
And he had a connection with the manager at Tractor Supply.
Okay.
In Minocqua, and they said we can use their parking lot whenever we wanted for car meetups. And so it started basically last spring, and then every Sunday last summer we had a car meet at the Tractor Supply in Minocqua. And we had turnout of up to 80 vehicles on any given Sunday.
Eh, what kind of cars are coming to this?
Anything,
Anything. That's the
anything.
key,
That's
guys.
the key. Like pretty, ugly, and that's all perspective. Like what you think is ugly and what you
Exactly.
don't. But cars, trucks, bikes, finished, not finished.
Emily and I
Like
brought our four wheeler.
yeah, they
We
came.
didn't have a car to bring, so
Yeah, so
we're
they
like,
brought the
we'll come
wheeler.
in our four wheeler.
Yeah, which was so much fun. They grilled burgers for us the one day. So yeah, a lot of fun. This year it's going to be a little less frequent. We found that our participation kind of like slowly dwindled because of the frequency of having it every Sunday. I think it like lost its like flair a little bit. So we're toning back how often we do it to once a month at minimum, but probably every other week. And
Okay.
then it makes it a little bit more exciting. It's not quite as frequent. But also there's a lot of things going on every weekend through the summer. So, people are over here, people are over there, and you can make it if you can. So we could go to the Tractor Supply for a couple hours, hang out, look at cars, make some videos, and then we usually go for a cruise out to get ice cream or whatever.
Okay.
So that's kind of the Tired Made Motor Club. Joe is heading that up this year. I've put the ball more in his court. Obviously, there's quite a few things I'm involved with,
Yep.
so I'm
Yep.
I'm still a partner in that. I'm assisting him as I can. I'm just trying to give him the reins a little bit more for the planning, the scheduling, the marketing of that, and pulling it all together. But I will still be at all those events.
Did you know Joseph before this?
Uh,
Or is
I,
that kind of how you met him?
I knew Joseph. This is how I really got to be friends with Joe.
Okay.
But he was ripping around with my decals on his car before I even knew him. So
Really?
yeah, so like one thing led to the next, and then I saw him at Bonnie and Clyde's, which we'll get into what Bonnie and Clyde's is. But I
Yep.
had seen him there for a car show, and he had all my decals, and that's when we really first met. We started becoming friends though, like last spring when we started doing the car show stuff together. So that's the Tired Made Motor Club. A little bit, I would say the demographic there is maybe a little bit younger crowd, just because Joe's younger than me, brings a little bit younger vibe, which is 100% okay. Then we have the
So, just to recap real quick. So, Tired Made Motor Club is a motor meetup. You guys are on Facebook.
yep,
So, that's where we can find out about when and where we're meeting.
yep,
Because sometimes you guys mix it up too on where you meet, right?
yeah, and actually, there's been a few different establishments now who have reached out to us wanting us to host a meet at their place.
Okay.
So the Tractor Supply is going to be like our home base. If we don't have something scheduled for that meet, we're going to meet at Tractor Supply. That's kind of like the
Okay.
Tire Made Motor Club's meet up home. Um, the Sainer Pub was one that reached out. They want to host one. And then the Grill in Harshaw, which is a burger joint, wants to host one as well.
The grill has awesome food.
Awesome
I love the
food.
grill and great folks.
Yeah.
So, you guys are going to talk about the frequency of that. So if you want information on that, when and where we're meeting up, you got to hit up the Facebook page,
Yep.
which
It's
is
all on
Tired
Facebook.
Made Motor Club
Yep.
on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Um, bring anything, bring yourself. Come in a daily driver car. Come
Yeah.
in whatever you want.
You don't
Check
even
out
have to.
everyone else's.
Yeah. If you don't have anything to show, just come check out the show. There's
Yeah.
not. So that's the Tired Made Motor Club, and then there's another club that I was also had my hands in starting, which was the Vintage Outlaws.
Okay. Is this tied to Bonnie and Clyde's?
Vintage Outlaws, it's its own thing too,
Okay,
but
so let's okay.
very much involved with
Let's
Bonnie and
hit
Clyde's.
let's hit Vintage Outlaws. What is this now?
So Vintage Outlaws is a car club that was started by a few gentlemen in the area, me being one of them, Chad, and then there was Justin Cernovitz was
Okay.
kind of a founding father, and then Chili and my parents. So there's there's quite a few like people involved with how that all came together. But the Vintage Outlaws Car Club, and kind of the goal with the Vintage Outlaws is obviously just a group of people who are into cars. There's not as much of a structured thing like the Tired Made Motor Club say with the meetups. But what the Vintage Outlaws really likes to get involved with is so for last summer, for example, we provided personnel from our club, members of our car club. Um, we provided personnel for other car shows, and what our personnel was for parking, people for parking, um,
Like the Iola
staff.
car show or something?
Local. It's all
Okay,
local
all local. Okay,
car
okay.
shows, but there's like the Eagle River car
Yep,
show,
yep. My wife and I love that show.
the one in Boulder Junction. So these were all basically staff. The one at the One Penny Place, the Father's Day one in One Penny Place, and then a bunch of the car shows at Gangster Park. We staffed them, so it was like, um, parking, judges for the car shows.
Okay.
The All those car shows were judged by Vintage Outlaws members, um, and then so really just a group of people that are really into cars and are like giving back to the car culture and helping in any way we can.
So that's more of a a group
Yep.
that you become a part of. Can anyone become a part of it? Do you
Yep.
got to like beat me up in a back alley
No.
somewhere? Or how do we?
Yeah. There's really no. My mom will tell you to buy a T-shirt or something to become an official member.
Okay.
But then, yeah, I mean, there's no like real structure to how you become a member. It's just a
Okay.
really great low key group of people from all ages. From
Okay.
Joe's a member of the Vintage Outlaws as well.
Do we have to have a vintage car?
Nope,
Okay.
any
So
car.
so there again, all inclusive.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
Um, so how do we find if we want to be a part of that? How do we keep up on information about Vintage Outlaws?
Vintage Outlaws has a closed group on Facebook that you can request to join.
Okay.
I'm one of the admins, so if you do request to join, I'll push you through. Um, Tired Made Motor Club is a public page that you can go to get all the information. The Vintage Outlaws is a closed group. You can get all your information in there about what events are going on inside the car club and the kind of things that we're going to be doing
Okay.
for the upcoming summer.
You said it's not a structure meetup. Do you guys still do meetups?
We do meetings like maybe quarterly or something,
Okay.
where we all get together at one of the Outlaw members' shops and we just sit around and have lunch and talk about goals and what we want for the club and things that are coming up and where we need personnel and whatever. Um, as for actual like car gatherings in the Vintage Outlaws, it basically more or less boils down to just being involved with the local car shows already.
Okay.
Bring your cars as a Vintage Outlaw. And then so there's the Tired Made Motor Club, the Vintage Outlaws, and then this year is the inaugural year of a car show that we created called Wheels in the Woods. And it is at the 70 West Park Complex in Minocqua in August 16th. It's the only car show that Minocqua has.
So talk to us about what does inaugural mean?
Inaugural is the first year.
So this is the first year of Wheels in the Woods.
Correct.
Okay, and how did this come about?
Actually, my mom and dad were really wanting to. So my mom isn't necessarily into cars,
Okay.
but she likes to do things my dad enjoys.
Yeah.
And she likes the social aspect of the car culture
Yeah.
and everything. My dad and I always laugh about it because there's always some guy that chats my mom's ear off about all the details of some car, and she stands there for 15 minutes like she knows what the hell, and it's like going all over her head.
Right.
But
And
she
she's
plays
thinking
it.
about
Yeah,
what's for dinner or
yeah,
something.
she plays the part really good. So we were all just kind of talking and wanting to start. So really to get my mom more involved and excited aside from the cars is like the organizing of an event.
Okay.
She and my dad built a really successful business their whole life, so she's like now retired and wanting to organize something.
Yeah.
My dad likes cars, I like cars, so this kind of all came together. And then being that we're pretty involved with the Vintage Outlaws, the this car show it's a standalone car show, Wheels in the Woods, and then the staffing and the hosting is by Vintage Outlaws. So all the people that are working there, putting it on, doing everything to organize the Wheels in Woods show is the Vintage Outlaws.
So how do people get involved with this? How do people find out when the show's coming up? How do people find out is there going to be food at the show? Stuff like that. Where do they get that at?
Yeah, so same thing. That's a public Facebook page, Wheels in the Woods Auto Show. You can go and follow that on Facebook and get all the information there. We're doing a lot of guerrilla marketing, which is going out and putting up posters and talking to local businesses and doing, giving flyers at other car shows. We're going to have flyers that we'll be handing out, so we'll be doing a lot of marketing like that. What's going to be really cool about this car show that's different than most car shows, and something that my family and I have found over being, over the last couple of years being really involved with car shows and such, is that um, there's like a semi-generic way to set up a car show, and then you're basically make categories for vehicles. People fit into a category,
Yep.
and then it's judged based on what we call show car criteria. And when you're at a car show and you're being judged based on show car criteria, it's really nitpicky with scratches, oil running down your power steering pump.
Okay.
Very like nitpicky on that kind of stuff. And what we found locally is there's not a ton of people that have show cars. Like a show
Sure.
car is like either a fully original mint car or something that was been fully restored. So we're tailoring this car show to have very unique categories that you're not going to see at any other car show.
Come on. Can we hint one of them?
Yeah, so there's going to be 11 judged categories. One of the categories is it's got wheels. So
Okay.
this is a category for people who have a camper that they think is cool.
Okay.
That they have a boat on a trailer that has wheels that they think is cool.
Okay.
That they have a UTV that's cool. So if
Okay.
it has wheels,
What about like a mini bike? Or
yep.
Okay.
If it has wheels, this is what a normal car show would call special interest class. Special interest would be motorcycles. You see those like homemade cars sometimes that are like trikes
Yep,
or whatever.
yep.
So this is your special interest class. If it has wheels, you can enter it into that. Now, there's going to be there's
I'm gonna pause you for a minute.
yeah.
Want to know what this made me think of?
Yeah.
Let me hear if this. Tell me if this triggers anybody. Monster Garage.
Dude, I love that show. That and Junkyard Wars as a kid. Those have shaped who the mad scientist is today.
Honest to God,
Like-
dude. So this should be a category. Anything they built in Monster Garage.
Oh,
Remember that
100%,
car
yeah.
lawnmower?
Yeah.
Where like the door was the lawnmower and they
Yep.
were cutting grass for like 90 miles.
Yeah. Or the golf ball picker upper.
Yeah. So this could be.
Yeah. This
could be okay.
Yeah, and like I mean technically doesn't even have to be road legal because
You could trailer it.
yeah. Anything that's got wheels. So that like so there's 11 judged categories. There is going to be some more generic classes like hot rods and muscle cars.
Okay.
There's a big difference between hot rods and muscle cars. A muscle car is a
When I hear that, I think classic American muscle. So I think of like Chevy,
yep,
Dodge,
yep, Challengers,
Challengers.
yep, Chevelles,
Chevelle-
Camaros,
yes.
stuff like that. And then you have hot rods, which is usually like an original body, but then it has a different engine in it,
Right.
or whatever. So it's like hot rod. You hot rod it a little bit. Then
Would that be like where they take like those 52 Chevys and the only thing 52 Chevy about it is the body, which is gorgeous, but then they put it on like a daily driver car frame with a souped up
Yep,
LS motor.
that'd be a hot rod.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's a couple of the categories that are going to be judged based on traditional car show judging. And then the other categories are judged off of a bunch of, first and foremost, judges' discretion, which is like, if we have 4 judges this year and 4 completely different judges next year, there's going to be different judging style and discretion.
100%.
So that is like the first and foremost. There's judging discretion involved. So on that judging scorecard for each category, there's a section that we have dubbed a la carte.
Okay.
It's like a la carte. When you go to somewhere to eat, a la carte is the additional food that you get.
Sure, like pick and choose.
Yeah, like I want to get some rice with my,
Okay.
whatever. So a la carte is, say you enter your vehicle into a category, and now you have era or period correct props or additions to your car,
Okay.
or theme correct. So say like, I've seen people have those old cars that are painted just like Smokey and the Bandit car and whatever.
Yeah.
But say you had that and you had some other Smokey and the Bandit props, or say you had a old F200 or F250 1970 camper special and you had the camper behind it. Now that's
Yeah.
a la carte. So you'll also get extra points for
So
creating your
so extra
vibe.
points and its own category.
A la carte is on the judging already
Okay.
for the categories that
For
aren't
all
judged,
categories.
that are not judged based on traditional car show judging.
Okay. You had to put an Aaron touch on it.
Yeah.
We had to put the mad scientist, but you guys also are going to have the classic judging platforms.
Yep.
So if you're outside of that classic judging platform, you're going to have on there, each judge is going to have the a la carte option.
Yep.
So that's the 52 Chevy plus the Tommy gun.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. Yep. And then there's going to be other, so like for it's got wheels category, for example, I'm envisioning lots of different things that have wheels.
Yeah, I want to bring something wild now. That
Yeah.
just got my mind
Well,
just messy. My
whatever.
wife's pissed.
So I'm gonna get I'm gonna get a bunch of people that I've done wraps for,
Very good.
or even graphic work. I've had a few companies I have done dump trucks for and stuff tell me that they're gonna bring
Very
equipment.
good.
Whether they'll enter it or not, I don't know. But there's gonna be a whole lineup of Always Tired Ink stuff, which will be really cool. I'm probably gonna do something through my Always Tired Ink business that says, hey, if you have some of my work, bring it down. Even if you don't enter it into a category, there's gonna be a separate.
I was just gonna say, what if we do like a spectator's choice?
Yeah.
Out of just the always tired stuff, like
Yeah.
just on it.
So
Cause
it's interesting because I gotta get you into the details of the rest of it,
right.
And then figure out how I can actually work that in, because this will be a completely like standalone. Like Always Tired Inc. is doing this. If you bring some stuff, we're gonna do.
But some of those always, because you've wrapped some, like we were just talking, you have $130,000 car sitting down there.
Right.
To do some custom on. So if they're in that always tired category, they can also be entered in these other categories too, right? Okay.
Right. It'd be a completely separate thing. So if you want to bring your car that has Always Tired Ink, work on it, enter it into your own enter it into the category in the wheels and woods that you'd want. And then Always Tired Ink will be doing something completely separate of that. Say, hey, you did bring it, and then we can do something separate, which I still have to work through the details of how I'm going to do that all, because then there's People's Choice Awards that are already going on for the car show. And then there's going to be anybody that is in Vintage Outlaws will not, they can enter their cars into the classes if they choose, but most of the Vintage Outlaws cars are going to be in their own section at the property.
Okay.
And then there's going to be a People's Choice Award for the Vintage Outlaws cars.
Okay.
Stuff like that. So there's a category for everybody. We built this so that like you can bring anything.
I love that.
That was the idea. There's even a category or a class that's called push, pull, or drag. So if you can push it here, pull it here, or drag it here, put it in that class.
So class is going to be a non-running class.
Yeah, or it can be running, but if it only has 3 tires or something. There's a category for if you got to push it, pull it, or drag it here. If you drove it here, you can't be entered into it.
Can we bring the car that we blew up?
We can drag it.
I can make that happen.
Yeah.
We can get a front end loader out there, because usually there is one sitting in that pit.
Right. Yeah. So and the like
brought to you by Tannerite.
We're talking. There's really 2 things that are going on at a car show. There's the people that are there who brought cars and entered into the car show.
Yep.
And then there's spectators. So we're building this car show. So there's going to be food trucks and vendors there. There's going to be live music. There's going to be kids and family-friendly games. And obviously a lot of cars to come see and enjoy. So if you don't have a car, this is still an event you can come to. If you want to see some cars, bring the kids out and see some cars. So going to be awesome. Super excited for Wheels in the Woods.
Let's talk more about that. Just like the culture of coming and enjoy. my wife and I just were able to buy a car this year that we would want to bring to a car show. Like I said, bring anything you want, but like we have something with some energy now that we feel we could share with somebody else. But we've been spectators at car shows for years,
Yeah.
and we love going and we love looking at them. We love, the stories behind them.
Well,
We love them.
my favorite thing is not only the stories, but just like, especially on the creative side of, if anything gets real creative, I'm always trying to like dissect what somebody was thinking or what their
Right.
vision was prior to this. And then also just like drooling a little bit. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you want? What would you want someday? What colors do you like? What looks do you like? Because there's lifted, there's lowered, there's
Yeah.
matte paint, there's gloss paint, there's big wheels, there's little wheels, big
Yeah.
tank. So it's like, what do you like? Where's your taste at?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have a car now. Maybe you have a deep enough pocket to have a car, but you don't have a car. Go there and figure out what you want. Go
Would you?
buy one and
Yeah.
bring it
Yeah.
next year. Or if you're saving up to get into the car culture, go there and see how much you got to save to get what you're looking for.
Will there be cars for sale at this show?
There's going to be a little swap meet vendor thing going on as well. So Jordan with Backwoods Tint is going to
Yep.
have a tent there. There's a couple detail guys in town. Always Tired Ink might have a little tent set up just to display work that's relative to the automotive industry locally. But Justin Cernovitz is, I believe, is heading up kind of that in the swap stuff. So
Okay.
it sounds like there's going to be potentially some vehicles for sale there
Okay.
that aren't in the car show, and then some parts and stuff, which
Okay.
I don't know how extensive that's going to go.
Okay.
I guess I'm not in the loop on that side of it as much, but it'll develop over time.
Yeah.
So we've got Tired Made Motor Club Vintage Outlaws and Wheels in the Woods.
Oh my God, I'm bringing my tractor.
Yeah, you should.
I'm bringing the John Deere.
Yeah, you
The
should.
Johnny Pop.
Yeah, it's got wheels.
It's got wheels. I'm bringing the Johnny Pop.
So,
So this is. I want to take another step back. You've got so much information that you're. Aaron and his dad are extremely talented, and the car passion runs deep. And you guys have built, like, from the bottom up cars in your dad's shop together.
yeah,
And trucks.
yeah, some real
And
cool stuff.
some really cool stuff. Are we able to like flash some pictures on this?
Yeah, we'll flash some pictures.
Show some pictures of that truck, like
The bullfrog. Yeah.
just like
Or the one you want. That my
The
dad's
one I
got?
want.
Yeah. The rat rod.
just fascinating stuff. So like, so this show, I love how inclusive you guys are, and how it's any level of passion, any level of creativity, any level of money, any level of any like. This is just gonna be a fun day.
Yeah, and there's a spot for everybody.
There's a spot for everybody at the show. Do you guys have a date yet?
August 16th
August 16th. Very good.
at
Okay.
the 70 West Ball Field. A piece that kind of pulls all of this together, a local establishment in
Yes.
Harshaw.
We got to go in deep on this too.
Yeah, we're going deep on this because this is place has my heart for sure. But it's called Bonnie and Clyde's Gangster Park.
So I've driven past this place 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you just. Not only does it have a piece of your heart, it has one of your vehicles there.
Yeah.
Upside down, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's just squash a couple rumors right now that I think anybody might ask. Is this affiliated with any kind of biker gang or anything like that?
No. So
Talk to us.
interestingly enough, this is a completely public place.
Okay.
When it's operating like hours. So
Yep.
they're very clear about the hours or when things are going on their Facebook page. So Bonnie and Clyde's Gangster Park on Facebook, you can get all the information for events and whatever they're doing there.
Okay.
It's not like it's just open 9 to 5 every day. It's like
Right.
when there's something going on. It's
Right.
open to the public. There's no crazy biker gang that runs it.
Okay.
So interestingly enough, I was talking to Nancy yesterday, 2 days ago, one of the owners or partners in Bonnie and Clyde's.
Okay.
And Rick is the mastermind, the owner, and that's Nancy.
We got to get this guy on a podcast.
Yeah. So let me finish. So I'm talking to Nancy a couple days ago. So Nancy's like kind of more on the marketing front and spreading the word, and Rick is the mastermind behind creating Bonnie and Clyde's. and I think it was about 18 years ago now he started it. And I won't get too much into his story,
Yeah.
but the day he is sober now, 17 years or 18
No.
years, the day he broke ground on this property was the day he quit drinking, and he was taking that energy and putting it into this place. So there's kind of some deep stuff with that, which is really wild and really cool. And I didn't know about that till this last summer when he was telling me about it.
No shit.
Yeah. So, needless to say, back to the conversation with Nancy is that I have now discussed with her. We're going to be doing a live podcast shooting there one of the Friday nights, one of the cruising nights. So we'll be on the loudspeakers and recording.
So
So
when
we'll
you were
be.
gonna tell me this
Well, I was going to tell you,
right now?
yeah, on the show, because I know you want to know a lot of history. I want to know a lot of history. I want to know more about Rick's perspective and what his big dream and goal was.
Time out. You just told our viewers that we're gonna have a live broadcasting of the Toob.
Yeah.
So you guys can come and see this live
Yeah.
at a really special place.
Yeah, and we
So
want
like,
y'all to be down there.
Newsflash!
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna get a chance to see the Toob live.
Yep.
Back to Bonnie and Clyde.
Yep. So, yeah, come down and see us live. Hopefully we get some more people down there.
Oh, that is gonna be a riot.
Yeah, and we'll have a lot of fun. Nancy, nor do I want to speak for Rick, but Nancy said that Rick would be more than excited to come on for 10 minutes and talk with us and let us ask him questions and whatever.
Awesome.
Bonnie and Clyde's is a really, really, really cool venue, and the creativity behind building it is what really inspires me and why I really like being down there. They do a cruise in every Friday night through the summer where they have a trailer. There's like two handfuls of different musicians that come down, and then there's like a couple different food vendors that come down and provide fish fry or whatever for these Friday nights. So there's always live music, there's always food, it's a good time. Everybody brings their cars. There's a multitude of buildings and structures. Everything is creatively built. It's like the rat rod of buildings. Like everything's got like panels and stuff on it. A lot of Bonnie and Clyde memorabilia. And then he's a big Ford Shelby guy. So then there's like the Shelby Saloon, which is like more of a private bar. And then there's stages. So it kind of all makes like a horseshoe. And then on these Friday nights, all the cars come in and park in there. And surprisingly, a lot of people have the perception that it is a biker, like a rough and tumble biker place.
I did, and that's why I want to let people know.
You'd be surprised. Like there's been multiple nights I've been there where the bike never showed up. It was just cars, or whatever.
Okay.
So it's really just a public perception.
Is this family friendly?
100%, 1,000% family friendly. I get caught up playing the giant Jenga game a lot there, and then they have a bunch of cool games, and they always are doing fun stuff for the kids. It's 100% family friendly.
You've totally changed my perspective on what like I said, again, anything I know you're affiliated with is of quality.
Yeah.
I've had my ideas of what this place is.
Yeah.
Without ever, and now I'm like, totally, this is this is Bonnie and Clyde's Gangster Park in Hazelhurst.
Yeah.
Follow their Facebook page for events. So now we're talking about another kind of. So you're part of 4 auto groups in northern Wisconsin.
Pretty.
So
involved.
This is a ride. Is there any name for this other than the Bonnie and Clyde Gangster Park Friday nights?
It's just the cruise in at Bonnie and Clyde's is what they call it. They host a bunch of other events throughout the summer there. There's the Summer Nationals car show, which is a huge car show that they do.
Okay.
Which I've been the videographer now for a couple of years and gotten some really cool video compilation videos of what goes on throughout that whole event. And so that's really cool. Then they do a big fall ride event, which obviously is thousands of bikers. So it is very much a biker and a car affiliated place. They make new updates and changes to the place every year. It gets cooler, which I can't imagine you could make it any cooler, and then it gets cooler.
When you drive by and see this place, it's like what I would have done when I was a kid if I had money and talent.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
So
It's
there's
beautiful.
metal structures. There's a bridge you can go up and eat on.
Where is your car hanging?
There's a school bus like standing on end. There's a fire truck standing on end. I mean, it's just like cool stuff. Um, so the bunny, the rabbit, the VW rabbit that I own and wrapped and did a bunch of crazy stuff too, is hanging upside down underneath that bridge in the middle. It's like dang near a centerpiece of Gangster Park. Rick and I were just talking one day. Actually, we were going on a cruise from Gangster Park. It was an organized event. We were going from Gangster Park and we were cruising. It was like a 100-mile cruise around the northern part here. Bunch of people got together, and I'm driving this VW Rabbit, and it's got 42 horsepower, and it's a 1982, and I can see the highway through the floorboards, and it's brutal to drive. Couldn't keep up with the Shelbys and anybody else in front of me. So by the time I get to Gangster Park, this is like 10 miles to get to Gangster Park, and then we're going 100 from there, right? So by the time I get to Gangster Park, I get out and I'm like, Rick, if I was like, I think this is gonna be the last ride with this because I'm 10 miles in and I hate this thing. And I pull in and I see, you know, his bus and his fire truck standing on end, and I'm like, I think after this ride we're gonna retire this car, we'll stand it on end right next to the other ones. And Rick gets all excited, gets a big smile on his face because he likes those cool, crazy ideas and whatever. And oh man, I would love that. Now the whole ride,
Did you do the 100-mile ride?
yeah, I got to Rhinelander, which was like another 15 miles, and I conned some of my other buddies who were in this group to drive it, and I ended up driving somebody else's car. I was like, "Come on, you'll have fun. It's cool." Blah blah. And then I got them to be in it the rest of the ride because
But the car made the trip.
yeah, it made the trip. But I'm like, screw this. Uh, so then Rick's like, "Bring it down when you're done with it. Drain the fluids out of it." I got an idea, So I drained the fluids out of it. I hauled it down there. They took the battery out of it, actually ended up cutting the motor out, and they flipped it over and hung it upside down underneath this big bridge that's there.
This was recent.
Yeah, last summer.
This was last summer. Okay. Because I remember when we were first getting to know each other a little bit and you were doing a little work for me, that rabbit was still like you were in the process of wrapping that and
Yeah.
like doing some funny things with it. And
I wrapped every panel on it a different color. It was all like they're, left over from wrap jobs I've done. So it was like a green, a blue, a yellow, a white, a red.
and it's still like that
Yeah.
hanging up
Yeah.
with
I
all
think,
the okay.
yeah, there's a few hundred always tired ink and tired made motor club decals on it. I wrapped the hood in black and white checkered like a Vans shoe. And before it got hung up upside down, and when I was still driving it around, it became a thing to sign the white checkers on the hood. So the whole hood has signatures all over it. And it's hanging upside down, which is super cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so a little piece of me's down there. Really fun place. We're trying to squash those perceptions of what people think the place is, because it really should just be intriguing. Like, you should be like, why am I not down there?
Right?
It's
well,
so much
I know
fun.
where we're going on a Friday night now. Now, let me ask you this. Just as someone who doesn't like to be around a lot of drinking, on those Friday nights, like you said, it's very family friendly. Is it like, are people getting in bar fights? Is there?
No.
Or is it, see?
I've never seen, and I've seen 6,000 people there at one time.
Wow.
And I've never seen somebody stumbling.
So this is the place, man. Thank you
and
for clearing all this up.
Yeah, and once you meet Rick, the crowd that he attracts, the following that he has built now over like 17 years is like commendable. They're respectable people. There is a burnout pit there, and they open that up at full ride, and they do this big burnout event
with the car. You can burn out with the car.
Well, they do it with motorcycles, but I have now convinced him that talked with him that he's willing to have vehicles or.
Because I need a place to burn out my car where if I post a video, people are going to like, destroying the roads in the Northwoods. Well, you know what I mean? Like, I need a place where I can burn my car out.
There's a spot where you pull out by the fence when you're there on Friday nights and stuff, and everybody burns out on their way out. So you can do that. But there is a burnout pit there. It's not like people are just whipping shitties, doing burnouts, drinking, beer bongs, all this stuff. It's like a very respectable community.
You know what?
Of people.
I am so glad we went over this. I am so glad. What kind of cars are they looking for on Friday night?
Any kind of car. Again, um, honestly, Rick has beautiful car collections, and he doesn't always get them out down there. He's got another facility in Marathon City where he has his Ford collection of his Shelbys and all that really
Okay.
cool stuff. Um, he doesn't necessarily get his vehicles out there, but I'll tell you what, I haven't I haven't seen Rick more excited than when Joe and his buddies pull in with their Miatas and their race
That's
cars,
so awesome.
because he just is fired up that they're that's what they're into. And if you're into it and you're passionate about it, he gets fired up about it.
You know what? I love that.
Yeah.
I love. Here you have this guy that's it. Shelby's, you said?
Yeah.
So here you have this like hardened American muscle car
Yeah.
that when you see these racers or whatever, you get some type of like I've seen people like does kid
Yeah.
and to see him,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm seeing him
Yeah.
by the way you're describing it, just like seeing him get pumped when they pull in with these. That warms my heart.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
And he does. And like the big thing at Gangster Park is make noise. So he's always on the microphone and he's like, it's getting a little quiet. Make some noise. And then everybody fires up their cars and they're just revving them up or whatever. So like he's got a big sign out there, make noise. So we're not being reckless or nothing. He just likes noise.
Right.
He likes having fun.
Responsible fun.
Yeah.
This is a play. So if you listen up, if you guys had a motorcycle you've been wanting to burn out in a safe way, if you have a car that you've been wanting to burn out a safe way, or have somewhere you can rev it up a little bit without pissing everybody off around you, because this place isn't surrounded by anything, it's just woods. Come on down to Gangster Park and join in on some of this fun, responsible fun.
100%.
I love this.
Good food and good people and cool stuff to look at.
What are some of the names, or what are some of the places of the food trucks that come down there? Would be anyone that rings bells with people?
So the one that I am really enjoy is Murgit's.
Okay.
That's their last name, but I'm pretty sure it's called Murgit's Mobile something Kitchen. I don't know.
Okay.
They make the most amazing fish fry. And they do deep fried Oreos too.
Oh, don't even.
So,
my heart's hurting.
Yeah. But it's like literally they just like when they pull up there, it's like you just order fish and fries or deep fried Oreos. Like there's nothing. It's not like that's it.
Because sometimes it's good enough.
And
it's like
and all of the proceeds.
Shut up! Don't tell me this place gets any cooler.
So well, it does. It actually does.
Shut up.
Because Rick donates a lot of proceeds from different stuff to the honor flights. And
my aunt is so big in on getting those veterans to see their memorials, to see their fallen brothers and sisters. That's amazing.
Yeah, so Rick gives back a lot.
Well, let me ask you this. So where does the money generated? Does it cost money if I want to drive in?
No.
Okay.
So
it's bring your car, any car, for free.
Mm-hmm.
Hang out with some really cool people. You'll be seeing my face down there. You'll be seeing my beautiful wife there. You'll be seeing Aaron there. And it sounds like a whole bunch of other cool people. So, where is this revenue generated? What are the options? Can we buy shirts and stuff?
So the way that Bonnie and Clyde's, and the way that I've always seen Bonnie and Clyde's is this is Rick's creation. He wants to share it and enjoy it with other people. He doesn't want to. Rick likes. He's still got that party gear.
Yeah.
Doesn't drink, but dude, when the bands are out there, when there's 6,000 people there, Rick is out there having the most fun you've ever seen. So I like the way I've always perceived Rick in the whole scenario is like, dude, he's just having fun. He wanted to build this. He wanted a place for people to come to have fun. It's you never once have I been like, this place is trying to strip me of all the money I got in my pockets. The way they generate revenue is bar sales.
Okay.
So obviously the drinks, the water, all that stuff. Anytime so they're generating there, they do have a big merch booth set up. You can generate funds there. And then, so Friday nights is free admission. then when you pay for the food, like at the Mergits, I think is the last name, fish fry trailer, you're obviously paying them and for dinner, and then the proceeds, the profit from that gets donated to something. I can't remember what the organization is, but your money's always going somewhere good. It's not like you're
Oh my
lining
God.
somebody's pocket. When there isn't food there that somebody brings, like the food trailer or whatever, the Vintage Outlaws provide the food. So then the
Aaron,
revenue goes back into the Vintage Outlaws Club,
this is
and then
my
we build the
place.
club up. Yeah. So
This is our
and
place.
then Rick generates revenue, because obviously there's expenses involved with keeping this place up. So,
Absolutely.
um, the fall ride, he charges his admission to get into the fall
Okay.
ride, and then like the Summer Nationals car show, which is not like it's easy, not
Affordable.
yeah, it's very affordable, but that's kind of where he gets that revenue to keep it going. But it's not a capitalistic place. It's like,
Okay.
how can we just have a bunch of people here enjoy
Yeah,
time?
that is awesome.
Um,
I am so glad we went over this because I, I'm sure other people think like me, and sometimes, like,
yeah,
what is this place about? Listen to the last half hour. You'll find exactly what this place is about. This is amazing.
yeah. And to be honest, if you're not there, you're missing out
Yeah,
because
that's
like
what it sounds like. I feel like I've missed out.
it's such a fun place to be.
Okay, so um, Tired Made Motor Club,
Hmm.
Facebook,
Hmm.
meetup, bring any car. There's no food vendors or anything like that, but it's bring a car, have fun, chit chat, enjoy other people's creations, and then take a group ride for ice cream or something.
Yep.
Then there is the
Vintage Outlaws.
Vintage Outlaws, which is a group, not necessarily um, a car meetup group, but they volunteer at other local car meetup groups,
Yep.
and that's going to be on Facebook as well, and that's going to be by invite. So you got a request.
Yep.
Aaron will see that request and let you through if you guys want to help out with that. And there's some cool stuff like getting
All
to be a judge.
Yeah, and all the events at Gangster Park, like Fall Ride and the Summer Nationals, and the Poker Run is next weekend. Bunch of the events that they do, Vintage Outlaws is staffing or providing the
No
food
sh-
staffing. Yeah.
Okay, so if we want to meet some of the Vintage Outlaws and learn a little bit more about that, we can come to Bonnie and Clyde events
Mm-hmm.
and talk with some of you guys.
Yep.
Okay, and then there is
Wheels in the Woods.
Wheels in the Woods.
Yep.
That's a Facebook thing. That's a once a year event.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like it's going to have some really cool classes, some fun, silly classes. You know how we roll. Look at
Yep.
this.
Yep.
Look at this.
Yep.
So it's going to have some classes for everybody. And
Maybe
even
we'll
if
do a live shoot there too.
we might have to.
Yeah, we could.
And even if you don't have anything, just come and enjoy all the
Yep.
stuff that's there and the fun that's there. So that's and the other cool little history on that. That's Minocqua's first. You were saying that's Minocqua's first official car show.
Yeah.
That's so cool. There's a lot of car enthusiasts in this area, and it actually kind of boggles my mind that Minocqua's never had an official car show.
Yeah, it's been an interesting process actually. But having like a good standing and having the right people approach the people that we needed to talk to about doing this in a respectful manner. I think Minocqua gets concerned about the riffraff or whatever of a car show, the loud burnouts, all that stuff. Again, trying to build the car culture around here as respectful as we can.
The amount of work you guys, I'm sure, had to put in to make all this happen. You guys, you could be part of history here.
Mm-hmm.
Come to this car show. This is going to be great.
And we basically have a section of the 70 West Park complex that is going to be dedicated to the car show, but there's nothing else going on there that day. So
Let's pack this
if
thing.
1,500 cars do show up, we have room for them.
Come on. This is history, guys.
And we have
guys and gals.
We have permission that if we need some more room, we can take some more room.
This is huge. This is awesome.
So it's going to be huge, and hopefully in the next decade we can really build it into something
August
cool.
16th.
Yep.
August 16th. Wheels in the Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Get on Facebook. Follow it. This is huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool stuff. This is like our car episode.
Yeah. Hometown car culture.
Hometown culture. It's here.
Yeah. And we get a lot of pull, actually. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, there's like yes, locally like Minocqua, but the Tired Made Motor meetups and some of the Gangster Park stuff. I mean, there's people that come from Wausau, Merrill, Eagle River, Three Lakes. I mean, Rhinelander, and I've really built a lot of friendships in these.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a huge radius of pull that come to these events, the Tired Made Motor Club events, the anything, and so near or far. I mean, whatever, however far you're willing to drive to come see us, like just come.
And I want to touch on this really quick. Kind of, you're talking about the people that are showing up to this. So Joseph in particular, I always see him wrenching on that car. Here's another great opportunity. If you have a similar car or something and you have questions on a build, that would be kind of a Tired Made Motor Club
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
So you come there
yeah,
and see a car like yours and ask about kind of some of those build details and where they, because Joe was just testing out PSI, I think, on his engine, like how
yeah,
much boost could his engine take. Well,
yeah.
now
So
Joseph has the answer.
yeah,
So,
so
like,
it's interesting too that you bring that up because, like I was saying, the demographic of the Tired Made Motor Club and the Vintage Outlaws is a little different, and the easiest way to like put that is like a lot of the Vintage Outlaws guys build their cars too.
yep,
So I'm not saying that, but like this is this is the difference between built not bought. So like the
yeah,
Tired Made Motor Club guys are very much like, how can we do this all ourselves? How can we figure this out? Can we push this car to its limit? Whatever. The Vintage Outlaws might have a little more resources, I guess is what
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying,
yeah.
to make their projects
Yep,
happen.
yep.
So there's like a little bit of a like diverge there. Because of that, we came up at the Wheels in the Woods auto show. There's a specific category
Come on.
called the Tired Made category.
Okay.
So
This is in the one stall garage with the tarp on the roof.
so there's a yeah, exactly. So this is going back, there's 11 categories.
Okay.
Now, going back to that judging thing, each category kind of has its own judging depending on what the category is.
Right.
Along with that, each class has a criteria that you have to meet to be in that class.
Sure.
So like for It's Got Wheels,
It has
can't
to
meet
have
yeah,
wheels.
and it can't meet criteria that could be in another class. You know what I mean? So like if it's a hot rod and it's fully restored, it should be in the hot rod class,
Not in the.
It's Got Wheels
Okay.
class.
So It's Got Wheels class is going to be its own.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we created the Tired Made category or the class.
Okay.
One of the criteria or requirements to be in that class is that you have to be under 30 years old.
Okay.
And my dad, so like we came up with like a little saying for each category, so it like a descriptive phrase or whatever. The descriptive phrase my dad wanted for the Tired Made category is not daddy's money. We came up with something else that might not be so offensive, but that's what we're trying to get across is that like you got to be under 30 years old to be in this category. And we want to see those projects that you put your blood, sweat, and paychecks into.
Yeah.
Your passion. Joe's Miata is a perfect example of the
Yep.
Tired Made class. Actually, I'm too old to be in the Tired Made class, which is totally okay with me. I'm not going to be in any of the classes, but that's.
But your dually
yeah.
could absolutely be in the Tired Made class. You
Right.
put some elbow grease into
Right.
that
If
thing.
I was not 30 already.
Right.
So
Yeah, we're out of it.
yeah. So basically, yeah, we're trying to, make a spot for those people too. That being said, I'm really excited
Yeah.
for the car culture, see it growing around here, and keep being involved with it heavily.
Yeah.
I think the area has a lot of great people involved with it right now, and a lot of great opportunities with having Bonnie and Clyde's being tied in with them, Tractor Supply, and these the inaugural year for the Minocqua Car Show at the
That's
Minocqua Park
huge.
Complex,
That's
and
huge.
having the cooperation of the local governments and whatever. And I mean, there's a lot of opportunity. If you don't have a car, again, come enjoy some cars.
Yeah.
Maybe this will inspire you to get a car, but we're really trying to build that culture up around here.
Yeah.
And just get into it. And the more you get into it, the more resources you have to make your whip cool. You learn things, you meet people, and everybody is always willing to lend a helping hand. I mean,
Yeah.
I see in the Vintage Outlaws the closed group all the time, and this is one that you can ask to be a part of, and then somebody will let you in. But it's all like, hey, do you got this tool, or who knows how to do this? And it's like, then all of a sudden you see three Vintage Outlaws going over to this Vintage Outlaws house, and they're brought all their tools and they're helping this guy or
That's
whatever, or
awesome.
they
So
bring
it's a huge
yeah community yeah
networking thing too, right?
yep.
So like
Resources and
we always circle back to young business ownership in this podcast one way or another because that's our lives today.
mm-hmm,
So obviously it would come back to that. But cannot stress the importance of networking,
mm-hmm.
and that includes through car shows as
Yeah.
well. I'm super excited for what the summer holds for these car clubs and these meetups and the people that we're going to meet. I'm very excited. You guys, viewers, should be really excited about this. Follow along on Facebook. On this video, let's have I want the links
Yep.
for these places. I want people to be able to click that link and get involved and get in touch with some of this stuff. And
Yeah.
let's just have a great summer.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see Austin out because I kind of got him roped into the car culture now a little bit, and you got his own whip.
We do have one now that's cool, but like I said, it's kind of that always, cars are a big thing in America. Like it's like your first freedom really is when you get that first car and you take that first drive by yourself. And like I've used car drives and music as therapy, and I've used it, you know what I mean, and to meet people. And like so a car is like a cornerstone. So it has a spiritual root in every human being. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like
and we'll leave with this is like I was just kind of thinking it through. It's like the cars actually come secondary. Like the cars are what get us all together.
that's the tool
Yeah.
that
Exactly.
get us
It's
to
the medium.
exactly. Like we said on that one episode, like it's not about the boats and the cars it's about the experiences you get with those and
Yeah.
the people you're on the boat with,
Yep.
right? Because I've seen people have really nice boats and they're on them by themselves or with someone they don't like and they look miserable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I've seen two people in a little rowboat having the absolute time of their life.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's all about the experience and
yeah.
what you make of it. And
So come on out to some of these events. Even if you're not a car person right now or you don't think you're a car person, this is a networking opportunity. This is a meet more people in the community, meet some sober people.
mm-hmm.
As you know, our stories, you know what I mean? We're both sober. So, I mean, meet some more sober people. And it's really cool, too. A lot of events in our area in the Northwoods seem to be centered around drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a breath of fresh air. Like I'm okay with drinking, right? Other people drinking, like they don't have the problem I do. This is something I have to deal with, and I don't look down on anybody for what they're. This is something I have to do for myself. But it's a real breath of fresh air to have an event that's centered around networking, and then drinking for some people is a part of that, but it's not the focus.
Yeah, and I've never actually, it's a great point because you know, you would hope that naturally drinking wouldn't go hand in hand with car and bike culture, but
Right.
it can. And but I've never been in the experience in this local car culture in the last few years that I'm like, this is too much drinking for me. I gotta leave. There's never been a scenario like that. I've never been concerned about somebody driving their vehicle after they were at an establishment or a a meetup or a show. So that is the last thing on people's minds when you're worried about cars. And then obviously Rick's history and his drive for building. I mean, it's rooted in like doing the right things and family friendly, good people, culture, no riffraff.
Yeah.
It really all is. So drinking isn't really even thought about usually in these. So yeah, going back to like some of the things you can do around here are very much like, let's do this while we're drinking. It's like, no, with the car culture, it's not, let's go do this while we're drinking. It's
Right.
like, this is what we're
Let's
doing.
do this.
Yeah.
And if a few people have a few drinks,
Yeah. It is what it, that's
fun
their choice,
for them.
but yeah.
That's not the focus.
Yeah.
That really is, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge to have events like that in this area
Mm-hmm.
because it's traditionally beer fests and You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like bar crawls and
There's a lot of sober people involved now. You can see me, Austin, my family,
Yep.
Rick, Justin.
Justin.
So if you are looking for a place
A
to
safe space.
yeah, and inspire you in recovery,
come and hang out. Come and get to these events this year. At least get to one event.
Mm-hmm.
Get to one of these events and see if you can't have a good time.
Yeah.
If you don't have a good time, 100% refund on your day will be given.
Yep. 1,000%. Yeah.
Come and have a good time.
And I'll
with
double
us.
it because you won't have a time.
That's right. So this is good stuff. Here's all the links you need for everything we talked about today.
Yep.
Bonnie and Clyde's Gangster Park. What a cool thing they're doing over there. I'm so glad we went over that.
Creative.
Thank you
fun.
for all the work you're doing in this stuff. Like I said, things are happening so fast because we're go-getters.
Movers, shakers. Yeah.
We're movers, shakers. So we'll keep you guys updated on some of these events as they're coming up. We'll review some of the events after they happen. As you know, we're a little bit behind in timelines, but we're going to keep talking about stuff like this, and we're going to keep
pushing.
Keep pushing, baby.
Yeah, so we'll be excited to see as many people out there as we possibly can and enjoy the car culture.
Come on out.
That's what this episode was about, and we didn't even know what it was about again
until
didn't. It just started going.
Nope.
So get out there and enjoy the sun while we got it.
There you go. Hit the tube.